a big part of getting accountability right is moving from a fear-based environment to a trust-based environment. So how do we know that we're in a fear-based environment, or what are the symptoms of fear-based environments? Well, the two of the main symptoms is any kind of avoiding kind of behaviours, where we avoid difficult conversations, we avoid addressing things, we don't really deal with issues, we sort of avoid them or we move away from them. The other main symptom is anger and irritation. So if we think that anger equals accountability, unfortunately it does and it doesn't. It's a very poor way of creating accountability. You can't really create high levels of accountability with anger. The problem with anger is that it promotes fear. Anger ultimately is rooted in fear because anger is about control, control is about fear. So anger itself is rooted in fear, and what it does is promote more fear. So what do people do? You get angry with them, they lie, they hide, they manipulate, they control, they do all of these things to try and protect themselves because they're afraid. These are all fear-based behaviours. So we've got to be able to move to a trust-based environment where we can have a really honest and candid conversation. But that is in the context of a learning environment where the priority is to help this person to learn, to help them to grow, to help them to develop. Like, we all need outside feedback. It's really hard to see ourselves. So easy to see everybody else's mistakes, isn't it? Much harder to see ourselves. So, gathering outside information, getting feedback is a really important part of our growth. Unfortunately, that often isn't really happening, or not to anywhere near to the degree that needs to, because of fear. Because one person is going to react defensively when they get the feedback, i.e. they're afraid. Defensive behaviours are always about fear. And the other person perhaps isn't providing the level of feedback because they're afraid that the other person is to respond defensively. So it's really, really important that we teach managers and leaders how to have more honest and candid conversations while also creating much higher levels of psychological safety, where it's safe, where people can be wrong and safe at the same time. Getting this right is foundational when it comes to accountability. And it's really important that we teach managers and leaders how to be able to create those kinds of environments within their own teams if we want to get accountability right.